Hello, hello, hello. It's time for a Joe case. Harmony, the Fall of Reverie is a don't nod game. So yeah. That's what we're playing today. Get my brain in game. So yeah, don't nod. The wonderful purveyors of entertainment, creators of Life is Strange, Twin Mirror, Tell Me Why, Remember Me, that was the original, Vampire, which I played, and the new game coming out is Jusant, not quite sure how you pronounce it. Feels French. Something sticky on my laptop. Hang on. So yeah, thank you to Ideal Xbox for the code for the stream today. Hi Leaky. So Harmony, the Fall of Reverie came out on the 22nd of June. It's available on Xbox Series, consoles, PS5, Switch and Steam. And it's £22.49 or $24.99 on Xbox and possibly on other platforms. I don't know how synced up they are. It could be classified as a visual novel. And it has 28 achievements, and how many people have played it, unfortunately? So, the fate of humanity is at stake. Use your gift of clairvoyance to see into the future and stop an apocalypse that threatens the balance between your world and the deities. Interesting. In the very near future, when Polly returns home after a few years abroad to look for her missing mother, she quickly realizes her hometown has drastically changed. A mega corporation named MK is using its power to control the population, and her community is in danger. She soon discovers she has a gift of clairvoyance that connects her to Reverie, the realm of the aspirations of humanity. Glory, bliss, power, chaos, bond, and truth. In this world, Polly becomes Harmony, an oracle who has the power to choose the aspiration that will ultimately rule over Reverie and restore the delicate balance between the deity's world and ours. Chaos. The fate of humanity is at stake. To which destiny do you aspire? As Polly or Harmony, each action you take will affect both worlds and send you down sprawling narrative path. See into the future and explore the consequences of possible choices in the Augural, a game board and visual representation of Polly's gift of foresight. In pursuing which destiny you'll desire, you'll also bond with and obtain crystals from the aspirations. These will unlock different paths at important crossroads that will change how the thread of the story unravels and ultimately the fate of humanity. Whichever aspiration comes to lead Reverie with Harmony's help will also become the heart of humanity. Their personality and style of rule will change Reverie while also giving the people of our world a new direction too. And the link between worlds is stronger, Reverie has a bigger influence on the state of our world. Glory, bliss, power, chaos, bond, and truth are all wildly different entities with their own distinct personalities, goals, and opinions on how to make things better. You'll get to know each of them as you visit Reverie in your dreams as Harmony, but only you know best, as Polly, what your world needs. As you play, revel in artistic direction that is bright and vibrant and futuristic. Immerse yourself in the daily life of a Mediterranean city. Get to know its people with a cast of characters who are fully voiced and animated. Enjoy an enchanting soundtrack by award-winning composer Lena Rain. Ooh. So yes, this looks like it's a sprawly game. I like the idea of that. No, not sporty. Subtitles. Sprawling. There we go. Sprawly game. Sprawling. Is there a sticky bit in the middle of my keyboard? Just go away. There we go. Okay, so let's switch up. Interesting. So, of course, we're going for chaos, right? Okay, Harmony full of Reverie. It's had a couple of updates since it came out, so hopefully it is. Oh, I really the M. Okay, privacy policy. Good. Settings, controller bindings. Switch augural types, show heart screen, notification panel node, select playlist. Okay. Alright, audio. Master up, music. Down a bit, sound effects down a bit. Gotta have it. They're a round number. Gotta have a number divisible by 5. There we go. Voices on 100%. Gamma. 60 seems fine. Game. Alright, English. Can we not have English, please? So play speed medium. No. Display controls. Yes. Show tutorials. Yes. Dyslexia font. Nope. Dialogue box opacity. Stick it at 70. Large, please. Dark mode. Yep. No invert. Excellent. So yeah, Don't Nod. Published and developed by Don't Nod and part of the ID at Xbox program. Very excited about this. Thank you to ID at Xbox for giving me codes for streaming purposes and also giveaway purposes. But today I wanted this game. So sadly, no one else gets this particular copy. Create new game. Ooh, pretty. Oh, it does burps. Baby seagull. I like burps. Ooh, so pretty. But then, you know, Life is Strange is gorgeous, and Remember Me was always brilliant. Let's go back to that one. I'm guessing we're ignoring Laszlo. Who is Laszlo? Petey. Uh-oh. It's watching you. Literally in some sort of future where people have portable VRs, AR devices. But there is still graffiti and buildings run down and probably poverty. Welcome back, Polly. Yes, we are Polly. Workshop. Everything looks the same. Ah, I like that when you can go. It's like, oh, it's really pretty. So get rid of the interface so I can take screenshots, because honestly, that is just gorgeous. Anyway, everything looks the same, but it feels so different. I dropped my bag in my old room. It's been 10 years since I moved out of this place. So I guess I get to be the narrator. 5 since the last time I managed to come back for the holidays. When I was young, this island felt so small, but now I'm realizing I was wrong about that. Small. It's just that I was growing up. I had my own ideas. Needed some time away. Alone. Codex. Tina. Oh, hello. Got a bloop. Love me my bloops. Know it all. Open the codex for the first time. Excellent. Tina. Tina's the oldest inhabited city in the Mediterranean Sea. It's now one of the most technologically advanced city-states in southern Europe. Located at the crossroads of many influential civilizations, Atina was always destined for greatness. Thanks to mono-concern, and despite concern from bulky citizens, the island has been ushered into the 21st century. With safer streets, new buildings, cheaper access to technology, and lower taxes, Atina is now a trailblazer among European capitals. Love me a good codex. Almost as much as I love a good flowchart. I've been playing As Dusk Falls, which also has a flowchart. Menu-wise, okay, it's autosave. Back then, it felt like all the space here was meant for other, more important people. And by people, I mean my mother. Okay, let me just pump up the go. Background music. Ursula. The sewage. Pulse. No, Pulse, thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. You were streaming. Was it that 5? No, hang on. The 5. It was either 5 button or like red. It was an arcadey thing. So I remember I had it up. I was just tootling around and falling asleep before my stream. But yes, welcome in, raiders. Ant stream arcade. Sorry, I knew it was something I'd noticed arcade, and I was like, is that 5 button one or the 5-1 button one? No, Ant stream arcade. What was that like? Did you have fun? Also, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it, and welcome in, raiders, as Leaky said. I'm Joe. Hi. We're doing Harmony Fall of Reverie, which is the newest Don't Nod game. Love Don't Nod. Believe they are French development company. Self-published this game. I've actually met one of the people in charge, and I maybe fangirled and shook their hand. This was pre-COVID, and said, "Thank you for making Life is Strange," because it's my favorite game. Yes, Leaky, you was there. You had fun with it? Not sure you could recommend it. It's a bit pricey. Indeed. I'm not really a massive arcade fan. I think it's got like a... Is it like a subscription-y thing or something? I don't know. Ow. Itchy. But yeah, it just came out like on the 21st, right? 30 for a year and 80 for a lifetime. Wow, that is pricey. distracted by something on my computer when I looked over and things had changed. Go back to the stream. Well, I'm assuming 25 quid is $30 and it's a year and you'd have to pay to renew it, Leaky. I'm guessing. So yeah, no worries, be right back. It's all good. You feel free to raid and run and raid and lurk and all that. But anyway, I'm going to continue with the story and not get distracted by things on my computer. So yeah, I think basically on Xbox you're paying for like a year and then you'll have to renew it, I think. I'm not sure. So I guess your mileage may vary as to how much, you know, you will spend in that arcade. Is it like arcade games? But yeah, anyway, she's always been so purposeful, so dedicated, so focused. She casts a long shadow. These are a very pretty game. The Naiads. Ooh. Greek mythology. Now I find myself stepping back into the place where we lived together for so many years, the Naiads. A big residence open to all, filled with artists and creatives. Okay, built in 1924 on a former Oxyan site, the Naiads was once Alma's only public pool. With a structure loosely based on Oxyan architecture, the Naiads was also meant to highlight Tina's cultural heritage. One of Alma's thriving gathering places, the Naiads was forced to shut down in the 80s when city council fell into financial ruin. It remained empty for a decade until a successful local poetess and other community members managed to buy it back from the city. They transformed it into a multi-unit building welcoming all kinds of artists. It's really cool. The backbone of Alma, the surrounding neighborhood. At least it was. With Ursula gone missing. Ooh, her mum's missing. The place feels empty now, almost abandoned. I decided to go straight to my mother's room, to the heart of the problem. Ooh, very, very bohemian, I think. Everything looks familiar and everything feels strange. Hear a sound and some instinct freezes me in place. Nobody's home. The noise emerges somewhere from inside my mother's room. A heartbeat and a gentle pearl-like rattling. Could be some sort of automated device. A soothing sound. Call. A name whispered, chanted. I feel compelled to open the door and... It wants you to drown yourself. Do not try this at home, folks. You will not go into a mystical, magical world. You will die. Look at the landscape. It's so pretty. I'm just going to take screenshots. This is a gorgeous game. Where am I? The world around me. I've never seen anything like it. An endless panorama, a limitless horizon. My head spins. There, looking at me like I'm an old friend, is a girl. She seems surprised, as if my presence was a shock to her.
Didn't see you there.
Please.
Take your time, Sprout.
Bring up the balance a little more.
It's not every day you wake up in a new dimension.
Let me know if that's not loud enough. My ears are ringing, head swimming. I feel like I'm in the strangest dream ever. But I take a breath and focus.
There you go. You'll get the hang of it in no time.
Who is this person? She puts down the game console she was playing with and rushes over to me.
So, I guess we've got a lot to discuss.
Who are you? I'm Polly.
Actually, you're Harmony for us over here.
Looking at my clothes and... Why am I dressed like a priestess? Breathe. I need to breathe.
I'm Bliss. This world is Reverie. And it's in big trouble.
Okay, Bliss. The incarnation of primal dreams and childhood. Bliss embodies the need for joy and protection. An eternally innocent child, Bliss is one of the oldest aspirations. Born from the earliest dreams of humankind, Bliss always needs more love, more laughter, more comfort, and more security. She despises any form of hierarchy and has barely contributed to Reverie's development. Her fears can sometimes overwhelm her and cause disasters, like the huge earthquake that divided Reverie's realms.
What?
Both my world and yours are on the brink of collapse. Not pillaged and plundered by an invading army or something cool like that. No, this is ugly. Bad news. Collapsing from within, you know?
Wait, slow down, please. I was just in my mother's room, and I picked up this necklace, and...
See this?
The girl points to an object floating in the middle of the platform. An orb. It sort of looks like a heart wreathed in blue flames. It's radiating a powerful surge of emotions. How do I know this?
Don't look at it for too long, Sprout. It'll bum you out.
It's incredible.
And yet, it's fragile. More than it has ever been.
Take a few steps towards it. Waves of comforting warmth and aching cold wash over me. Sensations of solitude and togetherness, emptiness and excess. On the verge of tears, gripped by a sense of helpless sorrow beyond my control.
I know who you are. And I know you have to touch the heart of Reverie.
What? Reverie. An intangible realm where ideas and concepts become real. Our home, independent of time and space. Reverie has always been, but its existence is tenuous and depends on Brittle. Without Brittle's physicality, dreams would shatter and hopes would wither. All of Reverie gravitates around the heart, a pulsating orb made of the texture of dreams. Our relationship with Brittle is symbiotic. Our lives are connected.
Touch it!
The heart.
Touch it and see the future!
Doesn't seem like a good idea. I comply. My fingers seem to go right through the surface. It's neither hot nor cold, softly rough. I feel a slight shock, almost imperceptible. It's like a burp.
What the...
You're connected to Reverie now. You'll be able to travel between our world and yours.
What do you mean, travel? I have so many questions.
Looks like you're searching for your mother. This'll point you in the right direction. Introducing the Augural, an amazing tool you can use to strategize and plan out the future.
How do I use it?
Takes a sip of her drink and a few seconds to reply. Is this simply theatrics? Is she figuring out the best way to explain?
See for yourself, Sprout.
To Harmony, this tutorial will give you all the knowledge you need to explore the story. Future is visible to you in the form of interconnected nodes, otherwise known as a flowchart. Each node contains a fragment of story that you can choose to unveil. Close this tutorial and use A on the first node to select it. Okay, when a node is selected, information about its fragment of story appears on the right of your screen. Use this information to plan your journey through the story. Close this tutorial again and use A on the node to see the fragment it contains. What happened? What the hell just happened?
The Augural allows you to see the future. That's this board, you know? Before today, time was linear for you. From now on, well, it dances to your tune.
It's incredible. How? How come I can do that?
I'm an aspiration. Me and my friends need a heart to exist. But our heart is weak.
Aspirations. The aspirations are incarnations of humanity's yearnings, desires, and intelligence. We immortal beings have watched humankind from afar, only able to intervene through dreams and inspiration. We exist in this world, though we may be few, we are united. From time to time, we choose a new heart, a leader, a guide, and occasionally a despot. Our voices travel to Brittle, where we shape destinies. It has been so since the dawn of humanity and will always be so. Ah, I'm assuming instead of on Earth, then we are on Brittle, and Brittle is where Athena, the Mediterranean Sea, and Europe exist, potentially. Brittle is Earth? I'm not sure.
And you're special, Sprout. You can help us. You can save us all.
Bliss attempts to smile, but it looks forced. It's because I look so confused. For a moment, the words mean nothing to me. But why me, and why is the necklace in my mother's room? Hang on. My door. Don't mind me, just answering the door for every bloody courier in the world. It's fine. Wasn't expecting anything, but there's always the chance that something that I forgot I ordered is coming. It's just frustrating when I'm in the middle of something. Anyway, could this augural be the key to finding my mother?
Let's start with something easy. Truth or dare?
Okay, truth. Truth or dare? Is she serious? Light in her eyes tells me so. She is serious. Branchings. Hello. Achievement. First steps. Play the first mode of the augural. Just seen Ima's playing Pinstripe. I wonder if he's trying to dive it. That game took me 2 hours to get to a diveable achievement, I think it was, or 2 or 3 hours. Ridiculous, like half the game. I've never gone back to it to finish it off either. Well, no, I have played more of it. I just haven't finished the story. Okay, so the lock symbol, I think, no, the question mark symbol means that only one of the next 2 nodes can be played. The others will be blocked forever. Choose which parts of the story you want to see unfold. Okay, none of this is real, so just go with the flow. Truth. Don't know where this is going, but talking seems less risky. But, you know, I will always choose truth. But I'm guessing this is one of those things where you know, you can play it again and pick something different. You know, you can play this game with some kind of immortal child, but I accept.
Tell me about your mum. Do you like her?
Words are spilling out of my mouth uncontrollably.
Things are difficult between us.
Good. You made a choice. And now, what we're experiencing is unique and special.
Well, once I feel ashamed. So thinking to open up to this unknown entity so much and so suddenly.
Don't worry about that.
Hang on, can she hear my thoughts? She needs to
I'm
stop.
trying, but I can't help catching some of them. Like listening to a foreign lingo you half know. But go on. Tell me about your mother.
Takes me a couple of seconds to refocus.
You make it sound so clinical. It's just that I never knew her. I mean,
I feel Bliss's presence in my head retreating, being pushed back. I can actually keep her out of my thoughts if I concentrate hard enough. So I continue.
She's always been there, pushing me, picking me up after failures and mistakes. But who she really is, deep down, as a person, I have no clue.
We're suddenly back at the Naiads. Not for the familiar surroundings, I might not have noticed a shift.
What the?
Is this your room? Nice.
Oh. You're here?
Well, sort of. I'm really still in Reverie, but with a bit of effort, we aspirations can push ourselves into brittle.
Now we're going to get brittle. The material world where humankind lives. Humanity's actions produce egregore, the liquid vital to our existence. Brittle is the world of matter, time, dimensions, and gravity. However, despite its limits, brittle is also a land of movement and energy. Guided by the right hand, it can produce great things. We can visit it, but we can't be seen there.
And as you shifted yourself back here, I thought I'd come with.
I did?
Don't worry about it. Those new powers of yours will take a bit of getting used to. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, your mum.
My finger traces circles on the desk, a mandala of dust.
Would you say she was distant?
Always. She kept me at bay. Refused to let me into her world. She wanted me to become this great artist. And instead I went into medical research.
That's the difference?
She was always there, always present, but never close.
That makes sense. Why am I asking? My stomach hurts. Why am I hurting myself?
She never even cried. When Dad left, she simply closed that book and opened another one.
My fingers paint an infinite spiral again and again. Feels soothing, like I'm making a bridge to connect two different drawings. And we're suddenly and brutally back in the other world.
What's going on?
Don't ask me. You're the one who brought us here. Traveling between worlds like it's nothing is, well, shows what amazing powers you have.
I smile. The future's slowly unfolding. Okay. Hidden future. Polly can catch a glimpse of the future, but entire parts of it sometimes remain hidden from her. Nodes with a... I don't know what that is. A temple symbol will hide all the nodes behind them. Hidden nodes cannot be interacted with. They conceal all of the information about the fragment they contain. You'll need to progress through the orgrill until you reach this node to reveal it and see beyond. On the orgrill, use LT or RT to zoom in and R to move the camera. Interesting. Some hidden stuff and also some big things. I feel someone else coming down. This is weird. Open my eyes again, the two paths have merged into
Go
one.
on, what do you see? What do you feel?
I sense a new being. A new force. It's getting closer.
That, I believe, would be me.
Tall silhouette comes into focus before my eyes, surrounded by electric blue fish dancing in the air. Those are not all blue. I knew Bliss was tiny, but now she looks positively minuscule.
I am power. An aspiration like our minuscule Bliss over there.
A power, the mighty aspiration of willpower, leadership, and strength, protects Reverie at all costs. The mighty sovereign yearns for structure and conquest, and is among Reverie's most influential aspirations. Power has helped create lands in Reverie's infinity, building bridges and boundaries over its endless web of ideas. He values actions over words and prides himself on being the most trustworthy of the aspirations. From the very beginning, he's fought the void surrounding dreams to expand Reverie's domain, and he's fought back many nightmares to protect it. He reads my mind too. I'm gonna have to work harder to keep them out of my head.
No offense, Bliss.
None taken. I'd prefer the term fun-sized.
A little laugh slips out of me. Suddenly this whole situation feels absurdly mundane, as though I've always been a part of this.
You must be Harmony.
Harmony, what a name. Only one of them. Harmony, as the link between Reverie and Brittle, this oracle has chosen to walk a special path. Each age, a single Harmony is born, bringing hope of change to our realm. Harmony is tasked with maintaining a balance between the two worlds. They ensure that egregore flows to Reverie and helps us aspirations extend our influence over Brittle, infusing more dreams into humans' minds. Maintaining the cycle is of the utmost importance.
You have seen how weak our heart is. It won't last long. Great changes would come to pass. You might even call them cataclysmic.
I wonder if her mum was previously Harmony and she died. Dunno. The ground beneath me suddenly feels shaky, unstable.
What can I do? I'm just looking for my mother. I didn't ask for any of this.
You now know that chance does not exist. The futures laid out before you will force your hand. They will require you to make choices. Choices that are ruthless, difficult, even painful. Choose wisely, follow your objective, and your diligence will be rewarded with a valuable resource.
Ah, knew I forgot something. There's this energy called egregor, right?
Oh, egregor.
It's basically how we exist in your world. It kind of tastes like, you know that blue soda?
Egregor is rare and powerful. It is not to be drunk. Some choices you make will generate egregor and bind us together. Use it wisely.
Okay, egregor, not egregor. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Egregor is the texture of dreams, an energy that flows freely between worlds. At the very beginning, with the four elements still and separate, they needed egregor to come together and merge. This luminous substance holds an infinite amount of possibilities. It's both everything and nothing at the same time. Invisible to the human eye, egregor requires you to see past what is, and to see what could be, but be warned. Egregor is a powerful elixir that is lethal in large quantities.
What? What are you expecting from me?
Inspirations meet my doubts with a knowing look. Don't like that they can see my thoughts and read my intentions.
Ah, you got it. I can tell because your mind's gone all hard. Difficult to hear.
It's like I'm getting better at pushing away from what's in my head.
We have much more to tell you, but a good leader knows what to reveal and what to leave unsaid. For now, of course.
Two aspirations look at each other. Something is shared in their glance, an emotion, a memory, but I don't know what it is. I'll need to find out by myself.
The key is your mother, Harmony.
Her disappearance must be linked with what happened here.
Pause. They glance at each other.
Some of our number are lost, scattered.
And we work better if we're a team.
How many of them are there?
But that's for later. Right now, the priority is your mother.
Exactly.
We must find her. Or else...
Your heart will get weaker?
The look in their eyes tell me I'm right.
Find your mother. Explore the futures.
How do we know it's connected? Very pretty. I nod. The view from up here is stunning. The Nexus, a place that belongs to all of us and where our heartbeats pumping life into dreams. The Nexus is neutral ground where we aspirations gather to discuss important matters. The heart of Reverie was once kept in the chosen aspirations sanctuary, sparking much tension among us. Truth and Bond worked to create this neutral space to hold the heart and come together, since sanctuaries are private and only open to those who their owner allows inside. My head feels heavy. So much has been dropped on me. So much. I need to close my eyes. Need a nap. The objective node has been revealed. Objective nodes are marked by a ray of light shining from their center. Try to reach them to progress through the story. Use X to open the notification panel and see the new objective mode. Okay, notifications. A long road ahead. Bliss is as far as you can see, Sprout. You'll need to give it one of us a Gregor to get here, okay? Ah, okay, so Power, Harmony, Egregor, and the Nexus. They're the 4 things we have up there. So we've got Power and Bliss up there. Okay, so I'm awakening. I'm back on Earth. Was that all real? We can only go here, so let's do here first. I can tell right away that I'm not a Reverie anymore. The sun over Atina is hot and dry. I stretch out my arms, feeling the muscles there resisting. A minute. Oh, I just need a minute to think this through. Came here to find my mother, discovered a necklace that transported me far away. The necklace. Key to Reverie, forged by a human with the help of an aspiration. The seemingly innocent trinket acts as a portal between Brittle and Reverie. Some artifacts, such as this necklace, hold a piece of Reverie within their material confines. Few exist, and fewer are those able to wield their potential. Nevertheless, these artifacts always find their way to the right person. So we have collected... There may be more. Oh, there is more. But we've collected a whole visible page. And now I'm able to instantly travel between worlds and talk to gods?
Is that it?
That wasn't a dream. All my studies into the human mind, all my research, I've never heard of anything like this. Was it a seizure or a hallucination? This was all the legends and tales my mother wrote about in her poetry. All the stories she told me as a kid. An invisible world's opened up in front of me with the Orgrill. I need to act. I need to embrace this. Okay. Crystals. These 2 nodes are blocked by a barrier. Barriers block access to certain nodes until they're removed. It seems crystals are required to unlock either of these 2 nodes. The pink swishy and the orange crystal-y symbols show that you need a bliss or a power crystal to progress through the story. Crystals can be gained as you progress through the Orgrill. Here are the crystals you seek. You see the pink and orange symbols on the upper part of these nodes. Progress through the Orgrill and play one of them to gain a crystal and to break the corresponding barrier. Crystals can materialize in different forms depending on which aspiration they're bound to. Okay, so we've got Sanctuary of Power. Nora needs to hear the truth, be honest with her. Sanctuary of Bliss. Console poor little Nora and I'll invite you to hang out in my room. Okay, so sometimes it's a locked thing. Sometimes we need to do a little bit of a thing. Support Nora or warn Nora? I don't know who Nora is, so... Kind of home, last a familiar face. Let's find out who Nora is and make a decision based on that. Rather than who we like out of Power and Bliss, because Power and Bliss neither seem like a massively great option. I walk back inside, my head still swirling with words, names, predictions. And then, Nora. I can hear her footsteps outside the room. Knowing her, she's about to barge in. I rub my eyes and run my hands through my hair, trying to wake from reverie.
Holly?
I can feel tears in my eyes, the sweet taste in my mouth, static electricity grazing my shoulders and arms.
Holly! You're here! Nora! Come here!
She crosses the room and we hug. It's the first human contact I've had in months. She feels so good, so warm, familiar. Nora, born June 9th, 2010. My god, when is this game set? It's got to be at least past 2028, because his legal name changed at 18. She looks at least 30. So maybe it's like 2040. So this is set in the future. Obviously, judging by the technology level, but we haven't mentioned a year yet before. Maybe we can figure it out. We like figuring these things out. Okay. Born June 9th, 2010, studied economics with a minor in arts. Her grandfather, Laszlo Kazar, is her guardian and has raised her ever since her parents relinquished custody. Laszlo, we had phone messages from Laszlo at the beginning. Failed first several years of college, approached a fashion school on the continent for their international class. Legal name changed at 18, seeing a speech therapist. Contacted for mono-concern health experiments. Interesting. Wonder if she's trans. Not that it particularly matters, but I like a good, you know, diverse cast. Okay, Hi, hey DJ, I've got my mouse in the wrong place and now all I can see is the fire emoji going, ah! I'm not gonna move it. I might move it in the break. But yes. Hey DJ. There's also a cute cat. I like the cute cat. And a smile. I like the cute cat. Always good with cats. But yes. Hi. So yes, this is, if you're joining the stream slightly later, this is Harmony Full of Reverie by Don't Nod. It's definitely a visual novel. So far it does work very well. It does. But the way it was positioned and the zoom I've got meant that basically it took up my entire chat, which I'm okay with. I do really like that emote. I might at some point make a t-shirt. I just need to figure out designs, and honestly I've been saying for a year I was going to update my merch and I haven't yet, so yeah, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But yes, hug.
How are you? Good. I mean, fine, considering what's going on.
It's okay. We'll find her. I know we will.
So much has happened.
Tell me.
Hold on, I need some coffee. It's keeping my brain from rotting.
She drinks coffee now. She's definitely older. A young woman. Maybe, okay, maybe in the 20s then. Maybe 20s? I don't know. Well, it's definitely future from us, because we're in 2023. Anyway. In the kitchen, Nora makes us both coffee and launches into, well, about 8 different stories at once, all tangled together. So, hi! Do you have ADHD? She hasn't changed or is carrying an entire world of plots and characters and charming adventures with her. A Nora-verse of energy.
And yeah, Grandpa's gone through all 5 stages of grief, though for a while I thought he was stuck on denial.
Smile as she hands over a huge mug filled to the brim with caffeine.
Nothing beats a really cheap, super strong coffee.
Can she see you?
Oh, no, you're fine. Just don't start talking to yourself. Weirds people out.
I'm so sorry. I'm talking so much. Can't believe it's the first time you've been back in years.
Okay, Polly. Oh yes, but now we get about us. Okay, so we are 12 years older. Born March 18th, 1998. God, it was school then. Graduated with a degree in programming. Moved abroad to work in biotech as a data analyst. Daughter of Ursula Beauclair and Marco Ricci. Raised by Ms. Beauclair. Seldom returns to Atina since leaving 10 years ago. Nothing of interest to report. Okay. Still trying to figure out what year it is.
Yeah, it's... you know.
Maybe 2030?
Oh, I know. Things were difficult with Ursula.
Feel good to admit my mother always showed more love and affection to Nora than me. I'm not jealous. Nora deserves love, but It's hard to stop thinking about the reasons behind it. Was I harder to love?
But she'd been different lately. We had a fight before she went missing.
Ursula was upset with you?
I've always gotten along well with my mother. I can't remember the last time they fought.
Have you heard about all the job openings at MK?
Yeah, that's the symbol at the bottom. Oh, but you can't see it. Okay, so at the bottom, let me just turn off the overlay for a moment. So, symbol over there was the symbol that just came up. Monokonzern. So this codex is powered by them. Started as a humble piping company in the early 20th century. 1 century later, it's grown from a water supply company to become the biggest company on Athena. Monokonzern now specializes in new technologies and offers a wider range of services. Trivids, drone deliveries, medic at ID, or Medicaid, I suppose. Much more. Job opportunities abound in a variety of areas, providing roughly half Athena's population with a steady income and the promise of a brighter future. Okay, so... I mean, there's no such thing as a good corporation, so clearly there's some sort of dodgy thing going on here. Nora wants to join them. A few months ago, she was telling me how intrusive and problematic they were.
The city's getting more expensive by the minute, and the pay's good, and it's interesting work, I guess. Did I mention the pay? Because, Paul, we're barely getting by here. And there's this school I'd like to go to, a rather expensive school.
Okay, so maybe she is just like 18 or 19 then.
But Ursula felt I was betraying myself, and we had a fight, and I had to sleep at a friend's place for a couple of days.
That bad?
I just needed some space. Some air.
The shiver of static electricity is back. Through my fingers, up my back. The necklace feels lighter around my throat.
I know MK isn't perfect, but I can't live here forever. No way I can move out without a job.
MK isn't perfect, but it's not a sentence I thought I'd hear from Nora's mouth. Well, I hope everyone's doing okay today. If you're playing anything interesting or got any cool plans, do let me know. I always do like to interact with the chat.
What do you think?
Think about how to answer. I feel the weight of the decision. This is the kind of the choice Liz was talking about. Okay. Right, so support, not judgment. Or warn. Ah, I see. Right. Do we want to support her in her choice? Do we want to warn her? I mean, my mum obviously tried to warn her, but it didn't go so well. Oh, sorry. Feeling a bit restless. Does chat have any opinions? I am torn. So I like Bliss. This is going to affect the whole of the story. These decisions. But on the other hand, you know, I can do a new tree. I don't know what the achievements are sort of like. They're storyline ones. And then there's secrets and there's... Ooh, okay. So at some point we do have to collect crystals. So we possibly have to play this. Not looking too closely at stuff. Enough times and choose one to support through. At the moment we only have two. Let's be supportive. Let's be supportive. We don't know how many crystals we have the option to do, but I think supportive. As I open my mouth, I can feel Bliss's sparkling energy at my side.
This is gonna be good, I can feel it!
But what if I'm just telling her what she wants to hear? so I don't make her feel bad. To avoid saying something uncomfortable.
Yeah, but do people ever actually want to hear the truth? You know, they want justification of what they've already decided, because if they're asking for confirmation, they already feel guilty about it.
Everybody wants support for their accomplishments or their mistakes.
The words lift a weight off me. Bliss is right. It's not my place to pass judgment, is it?
Money,
I smile at Nora.
responsibility, a chance for a fresh start. Maybe you should take it.
Seems like everyone hates MK, except the people who work there. So maybe I'm missing something. And if I took a job there, I'd find out what. It's been hard. Laszlo and Ursula have always helped me out, but I want my own home now, my own life.
I smile, projecting warm affection and reassurance.
Oh, my goodness, I need another hug.
I nod and smile. She dumps forward into my arms.
I missed you so much. You're always so supportive, so calm, so sure of yourself.
See, I thought the decision was going to be, do we tell her the truth about, like, Reverie and the mum disappearance, or support her, you know, in her grief. I didn't expect it to be this, so yeah. Nora can't see my face. She's missing the clouds of doubt passing before my eyes. Me? Sure of myself? That's probably the energy I've learned to give off. Inside me, though, inside my world is upside down.
This feels good.
It does.
Nora squeezes harder.
I'm sorry I didn't visit.
I squeeze back.
I was busy and I wanted to keep everything from here at a distance. A plant like me, well, it needs water and sunshine and distance from its parents.
Nora lets out a laugh. It's round and booming. That's the laugh I remember. And she releases me. We're both recharged, both at peace.
Come on. I guess we should find Laszlo.
I could do with a drink.
Maybe passing out and forgetting about the necklace and those two weird... I stop the thought before it expands beyond my control. Family first, because that's why I'm here, isn't it, family? Collected my first crystal. Crystals collected during a chapter and not kept when you move to the next one. Barriers fall and you can now reach the objective nodes. Okay, so we supported, we no longer have that choice. We don't have that condition, we have this condition. So, pajama party. I mean, sure. We can... Oh, we can play other options later. Bliss's unbreakable egg? That is so cute. When I return to my senses, I'm no longer Anatina. There's a warm blanket around my body, a soft whisper in my ear, and then a playful voice.
Finally! There you are! What you did back there, that was nice of you. Real nice.
The desert wind fans out my hair in front of my face. It's surprisingly sweet, almost invigorating. The aspiration beside me points to a building in the distance. Faint electronic music seems to radiate from the colourful walls.
Your place?
My crib. Yeah!
Bliss's unbreakable egg! The world of Bliss lies under protective shell. Only in this untouched space can she retain her innocence and joy, or so she says. The egg first appeared within the world of the first ages of Reverie, a shelter from the storm of raw nightmares of old. Bliss was born there from the first dream of Hearth. With the help of the first Oracle, Bliss expanded the egg significantly since then, adding more and more gadgets inside and protective devices outside. I was going to see if the achievement... Oh! Like, Nod, I love you! Achievement progress! As This Falls has achievement progress as well. Brilliant! Love it. That is very bright. Inside it's warmer, cozy, but loud, blaring with chimes and chiptunes and peppy high energy music.
Pull up a beanbag. Drink?
Do you drink? Or eat?
Do I need to? Nah. Do I want to? Course. Tasty's tasty.
Oh, stay focused. Every time I look around me, this world seems completely implausible.
Are you real? Or...
Us lot, as aspirations. We're the proof that you lot, humans, exist.
The proof we exist.
Yeah. You exist, so we exist. And if we exist, then...
Humans exist.
And that concludes our segment on philosophy. Try not to think about it too much. I don't.
It's reassuring somehow. Even the gods of this place don't know how it works.
Listen, you just need to see the Augural as a board game. You've got your resources, your goals, your supporting characters. It's just a game. Chillax, enjoy, have fun with it.
Chillax. No, she's deflecting.
Earlier, you said that this was serious. There could be consequences.
Sure, but I don't like the word consequences. Too many vowels. Don't much like vowel either.
Is everything a game to you?
No, not everything.
The aspiration's mood shifts immediately. The room feels a little darker, a little less
The
cheery.
future isn't. The future is important, vital, and the future, our future, is in your hands.
The Augural.
Aspirations have been around since the dawn of humankind. We've guided you, and we've been guided by you.
We're connected.
More than connected. You exist because we exist. And the other way round as well. If we die, you die. And I don't want to die. No siree.
There's a break. The silence filled by the sounds of Bliss's sanctuary. Enough for Bliss to wordlessly express that she's talked enough.
Fine. I'll explore the future.
Yeah! And have fun with it. I'll be around, listening, chiming in. Unless I'm in the middle of a game, of course.
Of course.
Once outside, I pause for a moment, watching an immovable sun casting its light on the bunker. And it hits me. Aspirations aren't good or bad, or noble or evil. They are, all of them, representations of the fallible, malleable human psyche. Should I join forces with Bliss? Power? Another aspiration? It's up to me to decide. Chaos. Chaos! Chaos! Okay. Alright, my head is buzzing with thoughts now. What won't? Whatever's bring here, it's big. Bigger than my mother disappearing. I step closer to the heart of Reverie. Its blue flames don't seem to burn.
You still here?
Turn around. Bliss is standing right in front of
Didn't
me.
mean to scare you. Sorry.
Small twit than she's ready to share. I can sense it.
This is a lot. Are you real? Is any of this real? Or am I having some sort of waking nightmare?
First, thanks. Nightmare indeed. Second, it's very real, Sprout.
I just need a minute.
It's okay. Really. We're really impressed by everything you've done so far. Soon, you'll be able to see even further on the Augural.
How far ahead?
Depends on your choices, on who you side with, on what happens.
She's uncomfortable.
I can tell you don't exactly trust me, even if I can't read your mind anymore.
Let's be honest
You
here.
mentioned my mother. As soon as I stepped into all this, you knew. And you wanted me to find her. What's going on with her? Do you know Ursula?
Can aspirations breathe? Because if so, Bliss just took the biggest gulp of air.
Ursula was here before, in your shoes, in this place, wearing this necklace. And she tried to do everything you've been doing today, and...
She failed.
She wasn't the right person. Why? I can't tell you directly.
For every mystery solved, 2 secrets are added.
Whatever happened, it broke us. It almost ruined Reverie. And we forgot. Our minds Our bodies were twisted and erased.
Turn away from bliss. A minute, I just need a minute. Today's been a string of stolen minutes, wild concepts, shocking discoveries.
We need your help. And you need ours. There's an aspiration called truth. They know a lot. I mean, of course. If you could find a way to save them, it would mean the world to us. I know it's unfair to ask you to go out there without any more information.
It'll be okay. I understand the stakes. And I'll do my best.
And give her a tentative smile. I need to get back to Nora and meet with Laszlo, search for my mother and this truth. No time to lose. Select the Path node to display an overview of its content. Game's saved automatically after each node played. You can still restart a chapter from the start as long as it's not been completed. This option is available from the pause menu. Ah, so it literally gives you the entirety. So rainbows and... Ah, there's lots of emojis in there. There was some sevens and... That's not a 7's a question mark. Okay, end of chapter. I like my decision, it's fine. Oh, act overview. It appears we're reaching the end of a chapter. Excuse me, gotta stretch. Oh. Act is composed of several chapters, each having its own objectives. Act overview is a simplified version of all the chapters composing an act. Objective you just completed by helping Nora make a decision about her future. It's now part of your ongoing journey towards the main pivot point of the story, the outcomes. Okay. The outcome represents the conclusion of great events in the future. Okay, so we can either get all bliss crystals, or we can combine power, and that possibly truth is green. They're unlocked by the crystals you collect through the chapters. At the end of a chapter, all the crystals you've collected are automatically transferred to the outcomes. Unlocking an outcome generally requires a large number of crystals. At the end of the act, you'll have to pick an outcome. On the org roll, you can press RB at any time to access the act overview. Do not hesitate to check it regularly and see your progress towards the outcome you're aiming for. Alright, okay. Oh no, it's Bond is green. Oh, 13 Bond or 13 power, okay. 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 Familiar face, foreign emotion. Last as you expecting me maybe more than anyone else. Consequences reveals 2 nodes. Familiar face, foreign emotion. So, the eye icon means that the node will trigger a revelation. Ow, my neck hurts. Weirdly at the side of my neck, not anything where it usually hurts. Revelations unveil nodes still invisible to Polly on the org roll. See the links extending from the icon? They point to the nodes that will be revealed. Oh, up here! Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this! Demon's Creek. She's taking screenshots of all the vistas. I look up at the sky, at the clouds floating by, obscuring the newly revealed stars. Familiar but unknowable, beautiful but ever unchanging.
I came out here for like 2 hours last week.
Seaman's Creek. Unfortunately, Alma's only public beach has been closed since the 90s. Because of the toxic water that's dumped into our sea, swimming on this side of the island is strictly forbidden. Since the Green Hills Agreement of 2026, Monzo Concern has been hard at work to rid our coast of pollution. It's confident that it'll be able to clear our beaches by the end of the decade. Okay, so it's not quite 2030 then. Maybe it's 2029 and Nora's 19. That would fit in with wanting to go to college and stuff. So then that makes us 31. Hi, Stagorilla, how you doing? Okay, and it's confident to be able to clear our beaches by the end of the decade. A brand new water park near Seaman's Creek will create new job opportunities. Construction on the park should be completed just as our shores are reopened to the public.
I believe it.
They suck you in, don't they? Especially when the sea is calm and you can see them reflected down there.
I look over at her, neck craned upwards, a half smile on her lips. She seems calmer. I'm glad.
All right. Time to rip off the bandage. Let's go see Laszlo.
I'll be at your side.
I know you will.
She lowers her gaze from the heavens to look me in the eye.
You haven't seen him the last few days? Full-on denial. It's killing me to see him like this.
Sounds rough. But we'll find a way, right? Even if we have to outdrink him with his own imported beers.
Wins me another smile, clearer this time.
They are so expensive. And I'm broke, just so you know.
Yeah, but that's why you want a job. We walk through the streets of our childhood, laughter bouncing off the old familiar walls. We chat as we go. We're sad that one store closed, amazed that another has managed to stay open. We laugh, a godsend considering the circumstances. The further we walk, the worse the flickers get. Images of other places, impossible places, reverie. Birds flutter about my head, phasing in and out of reality, and a kindly voice calls my name. And then he's there, in front of me.
Greetings. Oh, did I startle you?
Where am I? Who are you? Another aspiration?
Exactly. I'm Bond. My siblings keep
James
forgetting
Bond.
about me. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
The kindest of all the aspirations, Bond is a connection between all things and strength in numbers. Selfishness is a foreign concept to Bond. He lives through the eyes and feelings of others. Bond was once a multitude, but resigned himself to becoming a single being for the convenience of the other aspirations. This is mainly because he needs them to exist and forge the connections on which he thrives. Communication between the aspirations has greatly improved thanks to Bond, and he introduced the concept of equality and inclusivity to dreams. Okay, I like Bond then.
No. I guess I'm getting used to it. I feel at home, somehow.
Naturally. My path is one of community, friendship, and empathy. My mangrove forest is a place of warmth and safety.
Bond's estuary. The once vibrant, thriving jungle has been quiet for a few cycles now. There, wrapped in shadows, swarms of life forms live and multiply. Bond knows each and every soul and secret that dwells within this boundless march. He cares for them all. His mind swims through their energy, breeding new lives each day. Although this cosmos has lost much of its vital energy, Bond kindly watches over it like a shepherd, welcoming vagrant dreams as well.
And I am an excellent host. The journey before you, Harmony, is one with many roads and even more destinations. I am here to guide you towards those that lead to understanding, not conflict.
I know this won't be as simple as that, unfortunately.
Oh, you mean your mother? I know you will find a way to see eye to eye with her.
Fat chance, but sure, let's pretend that's even remotely possible.
I don't wish to keep you. Before you go, I have but one piece of advice. Remain mindful of others.
Then your journey may be one of discovery, not destruction.
Before I can reply to this news aspiration, I blink and I'm
Turns
back on the
out
team.
he wasn't even talking to me. Can you believe it? What an idiot. Well, we're here.
She's right, Leslie's bar. I give her a reassuring nudge and we head to the counter. Leslie's Bar, one of the numerous bars built into tramlines in the early 70s. Run by a colourful bartender for over 20 years, it's earned quite the reputation. Under City Council's community enhancement programme, tiny bars such as this one flourished around Atina's tram stations. However, they slowly disappeared in the 10s and were replaced by larger automated multi-storey breweries. This bar is among the last of its kind, importing beverages from neighbouring islands and coasts. She's right, Lazo's Bar. I give a reassuring nudge and we enter the counter. This place hasn't changed at all, except it's a little messier. A lot messier, in fact. For the rest, the ramshackle seating, the sticky counter, the rumble of the tramline overhead. This place always felt like a second home to me. And there, tending bar.
You're here. I'm so glad you're finally here.
Laszlo. He leaves the counter and comes over. Before I can react, he's grabbed me in a bear hug. My phone jams up into my ribs and I force a smile.
My word, it's good to see you, Polly. You look like a strong breeze would knock you over. Are you eating? Here, look, I've got snacks behind the bar.
Nora rolls her eyes. She wasn't wrong. His smile is too wide, his voice a bit too loud. Laszlo's a jolly fellow, but this is a bit too jolly for the situation. Why? Grief. Several objective nodes have been revealed. Impossible to gather the crystals required to complete both objectives. You will have to make a decision. Will you follow Blizz's path or Bond's instead? Laszlo talks to Nora, hiding his emotions. Laszlo opens up to his friends. Someone goes away and the community falls apart. Bring it back together. Let's heal in unity. Okay, so I'm assuming we can get at least 2 crystals anyway. Oh no, we have no crystals because we used it. Right. So we're going to have to get at least 2 crystals. Can we get stuck? Is the question. Ask Nora about Laszlo. Bond. A family tree is a fragile thing. Be careful how you handle it, Harmony. Hold off for now. You haven't seen each other for ages. Take it easy. Serious stuff can wait. I kind of like Bond. James Bond. No, just connections and unselfishness. So, oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go for Bond's path for now. Let's bustles off to grab some unneeded snacks, sending an errant beer bottle skittling across the cobbles.
He's been like this ever since Ursula disappeared. It's unbearable. He pretends everything's fine, like she's gonna waltz through the door any minute. Whenever I bring it up, he gets angry. So, I stopped. He has his own way of showing his feelings, I guess.
Okay, chairs and worries. Something's afoot. Laszlo, something beside Ursula's disappearance. As Laszlo fussing about behind the counter, Nora smiles and goes over to chat with some regulars. There are a few faces I recognise, names bubbling up from the fog of forgotten memory, Laszlo's friends. They look older, shrunken almost. Snippets of conversation drift my way. He's not been the same these past few days. What's wrong with him? Turn my head away, I don't need to hear anymore. They're worried too, I need to do something. This is an inevitable node. You have no choice to play this type of node when it becomes available. And then, so we do have a chance of getting multiple crystal-y things. I tried to strike a conversation with him, but he immediately launches into discussion of Alma's politics and the price of importing beer. Let him do the talking. It feels good to hear him talk about mundane things.
Did Nora tell you about the storm a while back?
I've seen pictures. How bad was it?
Bit of flooding around the island, but the walls held and the roof barely leaked at home. Nora helped board up the bar. We had a good laugh at all the drowned drones the next day. Spotted some MK folks trying to scoop them up before they floated out to sea.
Competitive drone fishing.
He smiles and his face relaxes somehow.
A sport where nobody wins.
Okay. Need support even if he won't admit it. Too shy to fort Nora. Take him for a walk. Talk about the Naiads. Talk about change. Ask Nora, ask how he feels. Ursula, MK. The lion would be gentle. Let's go Bond route. Bond. James Bond. And we should probably have a quick break. Okay, this is going to be tough. Lazo's open and generous, but when it comes to his feelings, not so much. It could be hard to get through to him. Okay, which we will try after we've had a short break and a stretch. Stretching, very important. Don't forget to hydrate. Maybe get some snacks yourself. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm back. You have a snack. We read that. I'll wait until he's busy with a customer to talk to Nora.
Okay, here's the plan. We have to get his guard down, or he'll stay like this forever. And that's no good for anyone. So, it's time for some bar work.
What?
Just follow my lead.
I rise and walk behind the bar as confidently as I can. Nora follows close after me.
Come on, move over.
What are you two up to?
Tending bar. Judging from the state of this place, you can use all the help you can get.
The place is looking a little untidy, I suppose. A bit busy, you know?
Looks like a bomb's gone off, Grandpa.
The nerves on this girl.
But he smiles. The banter's enjoyable after all.
I love you too.
Okay. The X icon means that next node will trigger a revocation. Block access to other nodes forever. Select a node with the revocation to see the nodes that will be blocked. Do we want to talk about Ursula or MK? It's annoying now, because I want to find out what feels off. And also talk about the mum. No, I'm going to change. I start to tidy up, grabbing discarded bar rags, empty bottles and stale spun glasses. Nora looks at me confused. I jerk my head towards a pile of dirty bar mats. She starts cleaning up around the bar. I know she was hoping for another kind of family reunion,
Got to
but...
admit, it's a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
Being back here, on a Tina.
Laszlo nods, but doesn't look up from the glass he's cleaning.
Funny how a place can change so much while staying the same.
Oh, absolutely.
He's nodding again, but his mind's clearly elsewhere. Every now and again he glances at Nora, concern in his eyes, or is it fair? Whatever it is, this isn't like him. Let him talk. After a moment of silence, Laszlo places the glass on the counter and arcs his head towards the sky. The light slowly increasing, the moon's rays are bisected by the tramline above. A breeze flutters his shirt, kicking up dust off the street.
There's change in that wind. Been a long time coming. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But you live in a place long enough, you know.
There it is, my opening's right there.
Not ridiculous. Not at all.
Ursula, she was... part of it. Something bigger, something I couldn't see. Scares me a bit, sure.
Scares him? What's going on here?
But you can't hold off change forever.
Laszlo's searching gaze drifts back towards me and softens. Once he looks a bit less haggard, less sleepless.
Glad you're back, Polly.
We're going to find her.
We have to. MK's pressuring us. They want the Naiads. All.
They want the land, especially.
They don't care about that old building of ours. They want to build a mall or something, I don't know. And we're running dry. But... well...
He shrugs, signaling the discussion is over, then he zeroes in on his glasses again. Ah. It's sun return soon. Been a long day, but there are still some things that need to be said. Night has... ooh. Place is almost empty, apart from Laszlo's friends and a phone-browsing Nora. A lot of text. I'm curious, but it's not my place to investigate, at least not now.
It has been a day.
Definitely a day.
Tomorrow's creeping up on us already.
He nods his head at me, but this time it's genuine. There's a faint sparkle in his eyes. His armor isn't gone, but the straps have loosened. It's a start. Okay. Too bad that Laszlo didn't reconnect with his granddaughter, but I can't get your decision. Bond. He's learned so much today. With the help of others, he might grow stronger than he ever imagined. We decide to stay for a while. Nora for the atmosphere, me to see if I can pry off the last of Laszlo's armor. Then I get an idea to get him to talk.
Why don't we grab a drink with your friends over there, Laszlo?
He hesitates for a second before grabbing a big bottle from the fridge.
Sure.
We join Laszlo's posse around the far table. Older folks from Atina and abroad. It all feels so normal. Derogatory jokes at Laszlo's expense, talk of the islands and of armor. MK, the new neighborhood they raised and rebuilt. Someone mentioned that Ursula's fought the construction for years, and it happens.
I need to come clean, folks. Ursula's been gone for a few days. She's disappeared.
This is news to the rest of the group.
I feel responsible. And I'm sorry if, you know, I hurt you.
Around the table, people show the support. Hands are shaken, promises are made to go out and look for her, ask questions. It's all quite moving. When things calm down, his eyes meet mine. Is that gratitude?
The truth is, I knew it was coming. That something was coming, at least. Things have felt off for weeks. At home. Here. A feeling in the air. Again, sorry. To all of you. Nora, most of all. Sorry. I just... It's hard. I didn't want anyone else to bear the burden.
Nora smiles gently, strides to the chair next to her grandfather and leans over. She rests her head on his considerable shoulder. For the first time since I arrive, I see a genuine smile across his face. The objective nodes may generate consequences that impact later chapters of the story. Give you access to entire branches of the future and cut you off from others. Keep that in mind when planning your route. End of chapter. Woohoo. With the choices you made when dealing with Laszlo, you made great progress towards an outcome. You've chosen the path laid out before you by an aspiration, but the future may still be in your hands. Outcomes may have greater consequences than objectives. You stay on the same path, or would you rather change the course of the future? I don't know. I'm certainly intrigued. Trusted hands. I knew I could trust Nora and Laszlo to find a lead. A new day dawns. Consciousness returns slowly, and as I open my eyes, they feel like hot marbles rolling in their sockets. God, I feel that feeling. The shed. Initially built as an elevator to bring materials to the Naiads, this building has endured. Its structure has changed a lot over the years, going from a simple shack to a proper house. It's infamous for being a potential hazard, extending over the sea unlike any buildings on Atina, but somehow became part of the local folklore. Eventually, City Council gave up on trying to close it down. To this day, it's one of Alma's quirkiest sights. I like it. Yesterday was more intense than I'd imagined. Reconnecting with Laszlo took an emotional toll. Not sure either one of us was ready for. Check the clock, past 10. Late. 5 more minutes won't hurt. Right as my eyes close as a flicker, and I'm back in Reverie. I open them and I'm home in bed. This is becoming intolerable. I wait a few moments to see if the sensation returns, but it leaves me weak for now. Time to get up.
Are you sure you saw it in here?
Yes, it was by the sink. I was listening to my podcast.
Researching about the Oxyons, are you?
I'm sure there's a connection between them and Ursula and... Oh! Morning, sleepyhead.
It's like the two of them been up for a while. For Laszlo, that's not a surprise, but Nora's usually a night owl. Breakfast all laid out. Banana crepes, hazelnut and sesame paste, fresh mango, my favourites.
How are you two this awake already?
Already? It's nearly lunch.
Grandpa, tell her!
Tell me what?
No, you do it.
We have a lead! On Ursula.
Excellent. Okay. The next news, Mario was removed after you released the last chapter's objective. Okay. The other is forever inaccessible. I won't see the consequences of an objective node until much later in the story. Okay. Okay, so. Bond. Laszlo was right to believe in the kindness of strangers. Laszlo and Nora don't trust themselves enough to spend this time together. I don't like that route. I like this route, and I unlocked this route, so I'm happy. Bond seems like a good way to go. Takes a few seconds for my mind to adjust to what I just heard. We drank quite a lot last night. Seems Nazo's friends were adamant he needed to party hard. I love how the oven says oven on it. Also, it feels like the kitchen is in a swimming pool. I think it is. Being an adult means you can skip therapy for a good old all-night binge. No, it doesn't. It means you should go to therapy. It's been ages since I've been hungover. Alright, just focus.
What's happening? Spill!
Last night, one of my friends reminded me about a girl at the Naiads. She came to meet with Ursula. Several times, in fact. I asked who she was, and your mother said she was a journalist, interested in publishing some of her poems.
Which is weird. Nobody publishes poetry nowadays.
I have to admit that Ursula hasn't sold a single text in decades. Anyway, I didn't push it. Assumed your mother would tell me the truth when she was ready. But then...
Then she disappeared off the face of the earth.
Anyway, I mentioned this girl to my regulars. She's not the sort of person you forget easily. So, Jack thought he recognized the description, and this morning...
He dropped this off. Well, show her.
Laszlo grabs something off the counter and hands it to me. Magazine. The local publication, anti-corporate, anti-fascist. Monoconcern seems to be the theme of this issue, unsurprisingly.
Second page, editor's column.
There's a lengthy piece on the inside cover. It skewers MK. Their actions on Atina, their checkered history. At the bottom, there's a photo and a single name.
Jade.
Ooh, that's her. I think she's quite famous around here. Badass type.
Sounds like she's got a new fan.
Jack also told us the printer's address. Might be a good start.
We've got some mutuals in common too. Maybe we could hit them up instead. They'll know how to contact her for sure.
That's a good start. A really good start. The node is locked. You need to reach the key that opens it. Select the node you want to play to find the key on its augur. Okay. So, find Jade's friends, explore the printing room. Ask about Jade, ask about the printing room. We need power for that. Ursa and MK. So his backup plan. Or, friends, be assertive, act natural, which we can do because we have a bond crystal. More info about Jade. Jade's personal issues. And we lose a bond crystal for the backup plan and we can't go any further. I like Nora's plan. I reckon Jade's friends would be more likely to give us the info than her business associates.
Friends first.
Yes, yes, great, perfect. Come on, I know where they hang out.
Are they your friends as well?
No, not really. We have mutual friends and some similar interests.
I like this way of doing it. I get to pick the node and choose an section of the story and see the consequences, because obviously I'm a seer. Whereas normally the whole node thing is you see the consequences of your actions, or you can see like choices and what it looks like, and then you can go back and change things. So I really like this, but as you all know, I'm a big fan of the flowchart. Similar interests, won't dig any deeper, but I'm curious. Doesn't take long for us to find them. Nora beams and runs ahead. Some in the group greet her warmly with hugs and hand slaps, others nod in more distant recognition. Good chat.
Weird, huh?
What's weird?
The fact that Nora is an individual person now. Not just a little kid. She has friends and places where she hangs out.
Ah, that feeling. A part of me is sad because I feel terribly old. But the rest of me is happy to see that Nora is her own human being now.
Someone, one of the people who seems to be Nora's own friend, casually offers her a cigarette. She slaps it away. I've never seen her move so fast. She almost manages to hide that panicked glance at Laszlo first too. Not quite though. Laszlo grunts and I feel a small smile at the corner of my lips.
A human being who can make mistakes.
Yeah. And like every other human being, she can fix them.
Then she's back.
So, they're a bit suspicious. I'm not sure about what to do about that.
How should we approach this? That's a big question. It's up to me to find the answer. Assertive? No. Act natural. And that unlocks something up here. Oh, look at all this. Act natural. Because we have bond. Use the bond, Nora. Use the bond. Let's try a more positive approach.
Be yourself. Show them what you think of her.
That's gonna look even more suspicious, don't you think?
So tell them why we're here.
She nods and heads off.
She's a good kid.
She is.
A minute passes and Nora comes back to us.
It went well then.
They are so cool. And I just went and just talked to them about Jade Galea. Yeah, went well. They even told me where Jade was. The skate park. That's her spot.
Good job, Nora.
Oh, I didn't do anything much.
Nora's smile's contagious. It spread to her grandfather.
So, next stop, the skate park.
Her mother's still missing, but for a moment this investigation just feels like a little game we're playing. Feels childish.
You seem like you're enjoying this as much as I am.
But it feels good. Both of them burst into laughter as we head towards the skate park. Let's hope Jade is amazing as everyone says she is. Oh. I was about to say something, but what's that sound? We get a key. Nora's just starting to say something when a buzzing stops her mid-word. A drone. Hovers directly above us, rotating. Its little engine whines like a wounded animal as it moves back and forth. Having apparently decided we aren't a threat, it takes off, rising high over the city. Nora glances meaningfully at Laszlo.
You don't think it was here for us?
Polly,
It was just a patrol.
you've been gone a while. Things aren't like they used to be.
I guess not. I'm almost alien to my own island.
Rule number 1 on a Tina. Never say anything around a drone you wouldn't want recorded.
Damn things are everywhere these days. City sounds like a giant beehive.
Monocon Zone owns this island, or they will. Control of everything. Public services, advertising, even security. It's all theirs now.
Well then, might they have something to do with how Jade's suddenly keeping a low profile?
Her friends don't think so. They said something about some personal issues. Nothing specific, though.
You've unlocked this node. You can now access it normally. No idea how my mother's connected to the other say. Jade isn't the same as she was. I think we follow Jade. Well, we don't have the option, I'm just saying. We can basically, depending on what, playthroughs are required. I mean, there's 4, possibly 5 acts. It is possible that we, can do all of this in one playthrough. Maybe it takes 2. Maybe cumulative across save files. I don't know. As you walk through the bustling city, Laszlo decides it's time for a short break. He halts, leaning up against a railing in thought. Well, if all of the incline is like this, then yeah, you definitely need a break walking around those bloody streets. I've been in places that are angled like this. It's murder on the calves.
Personal issues. Well, these days that could mean a lot. Money, relationships, politics. Too vague. Nothing to work with. You ask me, though, that damn company's involved somehow. They always are when things go tits up. Jade seems to be well known, respected even. No way they don't know about her. To be as young as her, carrying all that weight, I'd probably want to escape the limelight from time to time, too.
Can't help but feel moved by his comments. I'm older than Jade, and what did I do? I left the island.
Can't imagine either.
Shake my head. Let's not get sidetracked. I need to focus on the issue
What
at hand.
about Ursula? Do you think MK is interested in her too?
I can't see why they would be. What would they want with a poet?
What if?
An idea is forming, a thought, a little bubble that could maybe change the course of this.
What if they weren't interested in her? What if she was with them?
She would have said something. Or, well, or not, if it was risky for us. I don't like where this is going, but...
He swiped his sweaty forehead and pushes himself away from the railing.
First, the skate park.
Okay. Power. It'd be risky, but it could work. That's his backup plan. Nodes can also make you lose crystals when you reach them. This node will make you lose 1 bond crystal and 1 power crystal. Well, we don't have a power crystal, so that's okay. Unless we get -1. Dunno. We head to the skate park. Streets are quieter now with the rush hour long since over. Stray dog trots alongside us for a moment, sniffs my hand, and then wanders off. She's a long shot, but she's already shot. Besides, Laszlo claims he has a plan.
All right, out with it then.
Posters.
Posters of Ursula.
Exactly. Look, your mother may not be the best-known woman on this island, but she has connections. Hell, the Naiads is basically a community center, and everyone at the bar knows her. We get her face up everywhere, tell people to contact us. We're bound to get something back.
Nora and I share a glance. This feels good. It could work.
And if we do find this Jade, well, we could run an ad in that magazine of hers.
Just don't think there's as many people around watching on Twitch these days. I'm sure it's just because it's summer and people have more plans, but... maybe it's just my content.
Use her network to spread the word even further.
Exactly.
That sounds like a pretty good way to piss off MK.
Yeah. But Jade's our best chance. If we get close to her, we get closer to MK as well.
The more we learn, the more Ursula's disappearance becomes shrouded in mystery. Is it really a result of politics? Did she get herself into something she couldn't get out of? And is creating a public scandal really the best way to find our answers? Local poet disappears, MK does nothing. They won't say or do anything, they're already getting away with much worse.
Eyes on the prize. You're getting closer, right? You're making moves.
Yeah, maybe Nora and Laszlo are right. Maybe this will work out.
Keep that momentum going. Reverie still needs you.
Bliss suddenly becomes absorbed in a handheld console. Sorry, I just hit my mic. Focused on mashing 2 specific buttons as fast as possible. A glimpse of her undivided concentration is impressive, but doesn't seem to be going as she planned.
No! try to wrap it up before I rage quit this game!
Bliss must know that I can't answer right away
Also,
now.
you didn't hear this from me, but Power's getting all ceremonial about the truth situation.
That's what it even means, but I can't. And anyway, she's already gone. Right, so Jade, when we get to the skate park, how should we approach her? Ooh. Okay, so try and be friend. A bit straightforward. Okay, so that looks like unlock by keep it straightforward. We get a power crystal. We can do either. So trust Jade. We've got answer Jade's questions or interrupt. So we're gaining bliss and power this way. Excuse me. Ask Jade to use a network. Oh, that one's hidden. And listen to Jade's plan. Approve Laszlo's plan. Okay, so that's an option. Or we've got Nora gets impatient. This node is inevitable. Must be played to unlock other nodes. Okay. We need a bliss crystal though for it, which we don't have. So if we answer Jade's questions, then that becomes a thing, possibly. Nora loses her cool. Let Nora speak. Inevitable. Okay. Or shush Nora. We've got Jade's confession, we need 3 bond. Jade offers her help. Okay, so these aren't inevitable. So I think we play this path and it sort of unlocks these things on the way we have to play. And then we get to, let's keep it secret. Bliss, you need to protect yourselves and your loved one first. So depending on what we have, persuade Jade to network. She's got strong ties to Alma's activist community, they could help. We would gain 10 bonds. So if we're going bond route, we want that one. Public scandal. People need to know. I like network. I don't want to keep stuff a secret. And then we've got something on your mind, and then, yeah. Okay, so I want to try and befriend. And see where that goes. Okay, we arrive at the skate park. Omedios Skate Park was built decades ago and is the only park of its kind in Latina. It's always been and still is a place of joy for Alma's youth. In the mid-10s, Monoconcern tried to buy this aging piece of architecture from the municipality, offering to modernise the facilities. When this offer was met with contempt by the local community, the corporation eventually agreed to leave it untouched. Since this unfortunate incident, Omedios has also become a symbol of anti-Monoconcern activism. My heart sings. It's deserted, not a single soul in sight. I'm about to suggest we come back later when I hear a squeak from Nora. It's Jade appearing from behind a half-pipe. Time for a charm offensive.
Jade?
The young woman's guard is immediately up. No doubt she's used to being recognised and suspicious of who we might be.
Can I help you?
Ah, she's pretty.
My name's Polly. This is Laszlo and Nora.
Hey.
I think you know my mother. Ursula?
From the Naiads? Your mum, is she? Funny how we studied her poetry at school. At uni, even.
You have no idea. We wanted to speak to you because we thought you could help us with... She vanished, my mother, a few days ago. And we thought maybe you could help.
Jade tends to look out over the ocean. She shifts a little, readjusts her stance. Thinking.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She sounds genuine, almost shocked. Her demeanour's changed slightly.
We wondered if Anything you could tell us. Anything at all.
That would mean the world to us.
You shoot Nora a look. Calm down, we don't want to scare her off. Jade maintains her silence. Suddenly she turns away from the view and looks me straight in the eye.
When did she disappear, exactly? What was she like the day before? Was she acting strange?
This isn't the passionate Jade I've heard about. She feels cold. Analytical. Jade, born September 8th, 2008. Okay, so she's 2 years younger, 2 years older than Nora. Oh, I didn't read Laszlo's one. Right. Laszlo, born April 13th, 1974. Former nurse and owner of a well-established bar and armor. Widower of Alex Natalia, with whom he had one daughter, Veruca Kazar. Met Ursula Beaucaire when on duty in St. James's Hospital, was one of the first community members to join in renovating the Naiads. Briefly sat on city council in the 90s, became his granddaughter Nora's legal guardian when Veruca Kazar chose not to raise her child. Refused multiple offers from Mono Concern to franchise his bar. Jade, born September 15th, 2008, studied literature but dropped out. Mother from Malta, father from Athena, estranged, raised by her mother. Got good grades until she dropped out of school, no stable income, writes articles for various independent publications on an irregular basis, refused offers to join Monzo Concerns, open employment workshops. And we also got another one in here. MK delivery drones. Drones have been used by Mono Concerns since the 2020s and are the future of B2B and B2C. That's business to business and business to customer, I think. Consumer. Business to consumer. These multi-purpose machines have seamlessly replaced cars and trucks on Athena. With thousands of units in daily flight, drones are now an integral part of life on Athena, an omnipresent sight that buzzes day and night. They help workers with their daily tasks. The cameras and microphones allow Mono Concern to monitor the well-being of the people of Athena and deliver crucial messages in case of emergency. Go drones. That sounds like a good idea. Cold, analytical, the opposite of the energetic-driven fire starter I'd imagined.
Look, I'm sorry to press you on this. I really am. But we really need to know if you two were planning anything. Beyond the poetry.
She moves closer and she's still not answering.
Did she mention anything about a meeting? With someone you'd never heard of? Was anything missing with her? A suitcase? Clothing? Money?
Clearly the charm offensive failed. Despite the increasing tension, I'm a little sad. I used to be better at putting people at ease. Time for a different tack. Locked inevitable. Inevitable only active when all its conditions are cleared. Only activate if you collect a bliss crest on. Okay, answer Jane's questions or interrupt. Okay, so going with bliss on this. I like bliss. Answer Jade's questions best I can, but I have to stifle my impatience. This is getting us nowhere. Weren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions? When I do manage to get in a question, Jade just deflects with another. Every time I answer, she asks for more details. She's not being aggressive, she's defending herself. Making sure we can be trusted, perhaps?
Listen to me. Don't fight her.
I know. I'm trying.
The real problem is I can see Nora crossing her arms and scowling. She's annoyed and getting dangerously close to the boiling point. Okay. Nora gets impatient. Yep. Gets us a bond. We like bonds. From the corner of my eye I can see Nora standing frozen. Her usual electric fidgeting is stilled. Jade's up close now, arms crossed straight backed, every bit the investigative journalist. This isn't the badass Nora expected. As Jade continues to hammer questions as I see Nora's shoulders set, her face down. She's not just disappointed, she's getting defensive. I don't really blame her, but this is a delicate conversation. Can we risk her getting on edge? We need another bliss for that. Okay, so trust or take the lead. If I do this, we unlock Nora, and I want to unlock Nora, I really do. try again with our questions. What did Jade know? Why were they
Fine.
meeting?
I was doing another investigation into MK, and Ursula was helping. We believe the company was dipping its toes into medical care or a public health program. A couple of neighborhood kids said an MK agent offered them coupons and free samples. Said it was to test a new product line. They call it egregore. They claimed
She sighs, rubbing her
it was
forehead.
going to help with exams, stress, clarity of mind and all that.
Clarity of the mind? Sounds like something out of Reverie, to be honest. But how?
That's all I know.
We know why she turned to
Wait.
Ursula.
You contacted my mother because of her work on the Oxyons, on the history of Athena, right?
I only found her stuff by chance. Sounds like MK tried to have it burned, but a few copies survived. That was the only other reference to egregore I ever found.
Silence descends as we attempt to unravel these revelations. Sounds like this goes far deeper than we thought, but everything we've learned so far is circumstantial, just guesswork. Laszlo's not taking the additional MK factor well. Neither is Nora, who looks dumbstruck. Has MK done something to my mother? Okay. Okay, Nora loses her cool. Gives us a little bond. Nora strides forward.
All right, enough. We've been going out of our minds with worry for days. We heard you might be the sort of person who'd want to help. Help when people are lost. But you're just digging for details. Is the story all you care about? We don't need that. Come on, Paul. If she's not going to help us, we'll find someone who will.
Change is strangers to us and a journalist to boot. A hardened shell is practically a drug requirement, but Nora's words have caught her off guard. She steps back, arms hanging loose at her side. Okay, so let Nora speak. Shush her. I want to let Nora speak. Because we want Bond. We need Bond for the confession. Right, officer help or confessors. It's inevitable. Let her speak. It's clear Nora's more to say, so I keep quiet. We've all been through the ringer of late. This might help her relieve some
I
pressure.
knew I shouldn't have gotten so hyped. But who you are, what you do, you seem to be doing so much good around here. I really don't have words for it, so I thought... But I understand. I'm in no position to ask for more. Let's go.
Nora.
Jade's eyes have misted over. Her tears are there, welling at the edges.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to... Oh, hell,
It's okay. It is. Don't worry about it.
The hard edges evaporated almost completely. Jade wipes her eyes and then her
The
nose.
last few days, they've been a lot. The last few months even. Harder than anything I could ever imagine.
She looks up, trying to force her tears back down. Okay, sorry. Okay. Let's ask Jade to use the network. Ah, okay. I think we need to pick a thing here. Okay. Jade's confession. Okay, we're losing bond ones, but that's fine. I mean, we're collecting them.
I'm sorry.
Still counts.
Really. That was rude of me. Disrespectful. Not my intention.
No, please. It's all right. Really.
I've spent the last weeks, months actually, digging into MK's plan for this place, and I just can't take it anymore. They own everything. The systems, the records, the security. They roll over the vulnerable and suck up every resource they can. And I can't do anything to stop it. And no one gives a shit. Feels like it's just me out here sometimes, you know?
Her voice is tired, her gaze evades ours, even her hand gestures are weary. Jade's exhausted beyond imagination.
And I know that's not true, but it feels like it. I have people with me, sure. Friends, comrades, but it never stops. Now Ursula and... Yeah, it's all gotten a little much.
I'm sorry too.
For the moment I wonder if Nora might hug Jade, near stranger or not. From the way her arms lift, it looks like she wants
I
to.
didn't realize I was so angry about everything. I think I'd feel the same in your shoes.
Jade actually smiles.
Thanks. It's just like...
But the smile goes away after a second.
I'd like to help if I can. I don't know if I'm good for anything at the moment.
Burnout's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, you could say that.
Jade's confession. So... Oops. Confidence. Managed to gain Jade's trust quickly. So... so I think what happens is these ones is if we don't go up the Nora path that we did. So, you know, we want Persuade Jane to network anyway, so that was good. And it's inevitable. And we get 10 bond crystals, which gets us our consequence anyway. A shared burden. Collected 20 bond crystals. Yeah. But we also have, you know, 15% of that. The bliss ones. We haven't collected any power because power's not the way we want to go. Jade's mouth tightened. She's made a decision.
Alright, I'll hit up my network.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's still risky, but it's not like shouting the search from the rooftops. No offense.
I'm taken.
If MK Cotton's on, we've got a better chance of containing it if we know who knows what. It's our best option. For sure.
She looks at Nora and smiles warmly. Nora smiles back. Sounds like we have a plan. Jade has more to say. As it turns out, Jade lives near the Naiad, so we agree to walk back together. For the first time I notice what a beautiful day it is. The sun warming my skin, the breeze flicking at loose strands of my hair. It's so pretty. We meander through Alma, the four of us. It feels almost tranquil.
It's not easy for someone to go missing on this island. Everyone knows everyone and everything. Alma's a small world. A tight-knit community.
Okay, Alma. Alma's the historical district of Atina, known for its characteristic quaint houses and food. The original heart of the island, Alma is an open-air museum carefully protected by monoconzern. This district is badly damaged by the 1898 earthquake and has slowly deteriorated. A colourful maze, Alma is a great place for a stroll through the past while admiring the beautiful glass towers of the business district. Unfortunately for everyone, reconstruction projects are often delayed by a small group of anti-monoconzern activists. So we're making progress.
You'll find her. Problem is, you've got MK between where you are now and where you want to be. No way you're avoiding a tussle.
When I left Atina, monoconzern was background noise, just a detail in our lives. Now they're a juggernaut, unchallenged, inescapable. I've realised I'm angry. Resentment burns in me each and every time I hear that name. We turn a corner and the Naiads float into view. Nora crosses the path to walk
Didn't
alongside
mention it
Jade.
before, but I think I was approached by those MK goons you mentioned. The public health project guys.
Shit. Egregore and everything.
Yeah.
This is the job she told me about.
Listen, you didn't ask for it, but here's my advice. You see them coming again, you run. Or tell them to fuck off, or scream at them, or whatever. But do not take their money, Nora. I'm serious.
No, yeah, I wasn't going to.
I've heard rumors. People who came back the very opposite of healthy, and ones who never came back at all.
There have been other disappearances?
Hard to tell. People go missing all the time. Especially the ones society pushes to its edge.
I can tell Jade's trying to sound reasonable. She's had to deal with so much.
Sometimes they just move on. Change cities. There are rarely any records. But recently, a lot more people than normal have gone away. And most haven't come back.
But the ones who did come back?
Said they were given this egregore stuff. Pills or injections. And that was it. Some got sick, others were fine. But no clarity of mind business.
Could this be the moment to tell the truth? No, not yet. Reverie is my burden to bear for now. And how do I bring up the aspirations without sounding like I'm having a stroke?
And bear that burden you shall. You must.
Oi! Try to ignore Power's voice. I don't want to start acting weird and lose what trust we've built with Jade. Not far now. Jade gives us a nod and away she heads into her building. As we turn to leave, Bliss appears alongside me. I smile at Nora and Laszlo as we walk along in companionable silence, and Bliss laughs.
Someone's been busy. Well, guess what? We've been busy too. You're not the only bunch investigating. Bond and Power and I have news.
Truth still clings to life. But they are beyond our reach alone. Even our own ties have been severed. But we are close. So very close.
Our world does not cease to be when you are not viewing it. It is imperative that you stabilize your home front quickly so that you may assist us in Reverie. Do whatever you must.
I'm trying.
We know. So, here's the plan. We can clear the way to Truth Sanctuary, but after that, we'll have to summon you. Be ready.
Okay. End of chapter. Alright, choosing an outcome. You've reached the end of the act. It's time for you to choose an outcome. The ones you've unlocked with crystals. Only the ones you've unlocked with crystals are available. Okay, so Tradition Reborn. So we were originally going to go with, you know, Spark of Joy. But Tradition. We don't have any option really. Truth's Buried Temple. Does here so is Power.
Welcome to the domain of truth.
Someone worked hard to keep us from entering. But together, Power and I, we found a way inside.
Come, let's get this over with.
Surprised to find a cave, cold and damp. It's not at all where I imagined the aspiration of truth would reside. Truth's Buried Temple. Truth's underground lake lies far away in the north of Reverie and doesn't have a bed. Its surface is a door beyond dreams that leads to the subconscious of life itself. Only Truth can stare into it and retain their sanity. Its lake is a way for them to see everything and nothing as they please. The cave surrounding it acts as an echo chamber. Much like its owner, the sanctuary has remained unchanged since the very beginning of time, unaffected by cycles and shifts. I feel like Truth as an echo chamber is very poignant. Empty walls, clear water, and unfillable void. It could be how they picture facts and accuracy. Cold, solid. Bond and Power survey our surroundings. Their eyes are alert, but they seem relieved. I see Truth there in the centre. They are broken, shattered. I move closer, my footsteps echoing in the void without dying entirely. Even sound can't hide in
Come,
here.
Power. Let us proceed.
Agreed.
To my surprise, the two of them join hands. One begins to sway to a beat I can't hear. Power joins a moment later. Soon the sway has become a foot-pounding, heart-shaking dance. Do I hear drums in the distance? The dance quickens, the movements of limbs blurring until the two aspirations are almost indistinguishable from each other. The drums go louder, joined by a chanting that seems to come from the empty air just over my shoulder. Egregor picks up the broken shards of truth in a kaleidoscopic whirlwind of colour and substance.
It's working. Keep your distance. This may be...
A new sound emerges, a low vibration, a hum coming from the statue itself. There's a page missing. Getting closer to finding Ursula. I can feel it. Reverie is guiding me through this maze, but there's still a lot I need to figure out for myself. Finish Act 1. I think I need to stop there. I think Act 1 is a good place to stop. So, save plot-wise, Act 1, but a tyrant spell has bound me. We may do more acts. I may just continue offline. I'll see how I feel. It's hard to gauge interest from streams because people aren't watching. So I will keep it in mind and see what random to-do list throws up this next month. But for now, thanks Nopals for the raid at the beginning. Thanks everyone who has been here and watching. Appreciate it. Thank you to ID at Xbox for the code, and Don't Nod for making more amazing games. Yeah, not really much more to say other than I'm back tomorrow at 3 PM for Chapter 4 of Danganronpa 2. We should be doing 2 to 3 hours of the story, leaving enough story and the murder investigation for next week, and then the trial for the week after, basically. So we'll probably aim for 3 hours. See how that goes. Splitting chapters into 2 just means that I have 1 normal length stream and 1 twice length stream, so I'm splitting chapters into 3. It seems very sensible now. We did it with chapter 3 and it worked really nicely, so chapter 4, 5 and 6 will do the same. More streams, but hey, you know, helps me manage my energy levels. So yeah, okay, well, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. I've been Jo, otherwise known as Angel SK, and well, hopefully you'll stop by again soon. Night.